Welcome to KD Custom Woodworking. We're going to dive in today in ICF forms. We're basically DIYers trying to navigate through the confusing world of these forms. I mean, the payoffs are amazing. R50 walls, meaning airtight, no saves you a bundle of money on insulation, and it is a lot faster. Let's find out how confusing this new technology really is. It was very easy to unload. You know, we didn't have pallets per se. We just hand bombed them. We tried to keep our floor area very clean. Like you see out there, the worst thing with these things is you don't want to be dancing around them. So find a place to put them that's totally out of the way. And what I did here, if you can see the height, I'm about a healthy 6 inches from the other side there because we hit like a little bit of bedrock over there. And now what I did is when I did the styrofoam, I put some rebarb and I'm just going to pour some concrete right in there now and then get ready with my corner. So it looks pretty decent. I'm very deep, so I'm very happy. I'm going to leave that little bit of styrofoam there. I'm not really worried about the wall sitting there per se because it's only like 6 inches. Can easily handle that. It's not a big wall here. It's only 4 feet going, so I'm okay with that. But I'd rather have that styrofoam and that drainage there. That's going to pay dividends throughout the year. I don't want to have one spot that's going to pool up with water, and because that's my thing. If there's any problems, I'd be curious to hear anybody else's thoughts on that. And here we are. I got all the mud fell down from the side, so now we're cleaning. I got the rebarb here. We got the surveyor's marks here. So we're pretty decent there. I'm going to put some more rebarb in. I'm going to screw some in. These ones are epoxy, and I'm in the ground. I put them there just to keep anything from moving, and all the styrofoam's over there, so I'm feeling pretty good. All right, I'm just gonna pour the bags dry down there and just let the moisture. And you see right now, it's the end of April and we got wet snow. And as a true Canadian, I got my sweatshirt on, my hat. I'm ready to go. The problem is I got long johns on and I start moving and I start sweating. I'm kind of at a halfway point. All right. So let's see how we make out in another couple hours. Alright, so I'm a few hours into it. You can see the day has really warmed up a lot, eh? Now, I was going to go with Madeira, and I don't know what it is in Canada. They want us to jump through hoops, and they want to get certified with their product. And I'm like, well, I'm not really going around doing a business like this. That should be a totally different area. And not only that, I'm not a fan of especially corporations licensing their own product. It becomes non-competitive. Right now the only headache what's slowing me down, and the last rant. So I called these people. They're actually been around since 2000. Styro, so they have a good history of the product. They're Newfoundland based, and I called Melissa. Here's what I need. I think within an hour and a half she had a quote, and it was actually $1,000 less than Madeira. And and what I loved about it too is the fiberglass rebar. Thank you. They're the same price. They're only $10 each, and it's 4 times the strength. And that's why I love it. I love the fact of, the water won't get in there, because you saw, we took down here, we used epoxy. That's what that is, epoxy rebar going in there. And so, that's all I gotta say. So far so good. There's a learning curve with this, eh? Because you don't want to make a mistake. All right, so I spoke to the sales rep for this product, and they said for the bottom, because I was going to put plates there, they were saying use the spray foam. And anyways, I have started to, at first I was a little scared, not scared, but being cautious, and making sure that I had time. It wasn't bad on those joints. I am in a fortunate position here that I'll put, on the outside I'm putting styrofoam full sheets, because it is Canada, and this stuff I'm not crazy about, like having it exposed to the water. But now I really got my first row, and you can see this is an old area. See how it goes in the corner and then comes out there. There's our marks by the surveyors, because we had to have a certificate from the surveyors to go with our permit. If we didn't, well, they could ask us to remove it. The other one's a little more dicey because these two houses were made the same time. They were made as one, so they got like a shared wall, but for whatever reason the other house gets a little more priority. But look at us, we're fixing the other house, the wall. So I don't know if we become finders keepers, losers weepers, and they kind of dropped the ball there to say, and I understand the gentleman's older, I know who he is, and he's a good man, and he owns a few houses here and doesn't know what to do with it. And I'm going here, I just want to show something. See, a lot of places, they say, well, you don't need to, you just drop into rebar and walk away. I'm putting two here. They want to put another one at the bottom. They want two. I couldn't reach it. I'm going to put every 18 inches vertical. I already have my rebars here touching. I already have all them. They lined up pretty good. They recommend every 4 feet. So so what I'm going to do is I got this perfectly square. I'm going to show the level, like here. I mean, look at that. Right now, I'm going to show you how much I'm off. See that? Like a 16th, if that, right there. Not even, like it was maybe a little bit here, but that's the foam, eh? Right here is perfect. I can live with this. I can work with this all day. So this is the important part. These corners to that corner. If they're not level, you're screwed here, because this wall, I gotta come up 8 feet. I want to have 8 feet on both sides. That way, I only have to make now another wall, the main wall, only 5 feet. More than likely, I'll use 2x8s. And then when I have the joists, I'm sure now you've gone to these styrofoam videos and think, wow, they snap it in, they got like little kids popping it in or whatever. That's not true. All right, forget it. With this, if you look at the bottom here, all right, I tried to shim it up a hair, right? But because I did that, I thought, oh, okay, I'll put my roll on and then kind of lift it. But when I did it, it was slightly off, like not much, by like a 30 seconds. So as I go up, it kind of opens up a bit, if it makes sense. So with that said, there is a learning curve with this. I'm sure if I just do this full time, I'd probably have a way better system. And it's not bad, this system. This one's 4 foot. I know the other one, Nudera's 8 feet, and everybody says that's better. But I understand their system with their corners. They got it the opposite. One way, the other way. So I'm able to stagger, and then they want to put foam in between the joints, and the joints act as a glue. Now, if you're a little off, see the joints here? This one's pretty good. I'm not going to mouth off. But you got to watch it. Like, see how I got those open here? And then that puts it slightly off, and you end up pounding it a bit. So that's the big thing. The other big thing is, see this? This is the plastic that I can slide in. All right. The other one, when I started the first row, I was a little off on a couple of them. But if they were putting drywall here, they would curse my name. You know, they would be like, "Oh God, what's this guy doing?" But in my case, I'm really not. I got a wall going on top of it, but that's really it. So I just go like this. Let's see. It's gonna make a liar of me. Here I didn't bother shimming it. It's. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's about a ½ inch out, like this, like from one end to the other. The other part is pretty much perfect. And maybe what I should have done, just put a chalk line. And then if I want to take a little bit out, but I want these two walls to meet, so my span, because I got a big span here, and I got my joists, my engineered joists. So having if I go wall this wide and I have my engineered joists on there, I'll pass any framing inspection and then some. So, but what's great about it in Canada is like, wow, I mean, this is a cat's meow. So, in all hindsight, I'm in to about 2 days on this fully. Like, I had a couple appointments in the morning, so I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't here 100%. And it does go fast. It's just because you're not used to it. It seems like it takes a little longer. So. That's it. They want you to put a little foam there. Okay, so I'm getting near the end. I did a couple of mistakes of not when I cut, not lining up, but that's on me. A lot has to do with our footings because we were on top, and it's hard to trowel when you're level. You got this dug out, but in our case, we're doing a different type of floor. But if there's any doubt with this foam, like I'm going to show you here, I cut into the plastic. See all these ribs? And here, even if I didn't have it on the styrofoam or the joints, I mean, for the concrete to blow that out would be like insane. Like, I mean, I couldn't imagine the pressure to blow that out. I mean, you could fill this with water and it wouldn't, it wouldn't blow it out. So I'm being very cautious. And what I'm doing now is just getting kind of a bit of a pain in the ass. This is the old house besides this house, and it's abandoned. But they have like a shared wall. If I could, they were built at the same time. So we're going to build a new wall on the inside. I want to leave the old one, because technically that's theirs and this is ours. And what I've done now, I've come here, so I come here with the styrofoam. We hit a spring, which isn't fun, We're going to direct it. We're just going to have to work around it. And I'll come up under there. See the way I'm coming? And I want to take it on that post. And I'm going to have to get very creative in here. I would love to have this much concrete come in. Now, I'm showing it open here, like all the way up, almost the 8 feet. I've taken this wall and gone in to the house. This is original wall right here. And now I can show you over here what I've done. It's on concrete over there. I got a couple jacks. I got the jack here. All right. This wall has caused us a lot of grief in the sense the surveyors don't say it belongs to this house, but it's a shared house. It's a shared wall because both of these houses were built at the same time. So you see what I did with my concrete, the concrete staying in there. I got a little lip here that if I had to take up, I could. I want to take the weight of this wall up because there's no way I want this part of the house to start sinking. Now with the wall here, what I've done, I'll cap that off and I'll show that in one sec. But what I'm trying to explain, and maybe if this makes sense, it's important to understand things. And a lot of times you go to sales reps or whatever, they can't explain things. What it is with the concrete, you see all these little plastic things going in there? If that gets filled with concrete, even if it's wet all the way up, it won't slosh going back and forth, sloshing. Because what's going to stop it are those little plastic things with stones. And why is that important? Because if you get enough sloshing going back and forth like that, for sure this would tip over. You know, if you filled it. It's like the oil tankers. And even the ones you see on the highway, they have barricades in between, even milk trucks. They have barricades in between so it doesn't slosh. Because if that sloshes, they'll lose that trailer, guaranteed. And the same thing with this. Like for one of these plastic things to rip out of that styrofoam, I mean, you would have to have your concrete so watered down and you're vibrating the hell out of it. It would never really go. I'm just being like so cautious, eh? Like the only thing I didn't like about these ones, see how they interlocked each other. If you get one bent up, which I did on a couple, it's a real hassle to get them back. And you can see I staggered these plastics. See right here, line? All right, see how I don't line up there? And I did that on purpose. I want my concrete there to go to the next one. Now,
okay, so the concrete truck is coming tomorrow, and the concrete is going to be poured inside these forms, which have all rebar through and through, all the way down. And it's going to be put all along here. And all the bracing's been done. We got ourselves the floor. This is where the patio door is going. That's where the window's going. And Kevin, well, he's not staying. He's not part of the furniture. And here's our buddy Kurt. Kurtie in. Woo! He's happening. So now they're going to do some heavy lifting.
Man. Look at this.
And so there we are.
Of Scott giving me design advice.
all right. If you made it this far to the video, thank you for watching. We try to make it informative, but also, you know, it is sort of, I am a DIYer in doing this. I'm not, you know, it's not like I do this every once a week or something like that. Now, what I have learned to this point is comparing the Nudura to this styrofoam. It's a lot easier, like getting spray foam in here, and it interlocks, so you don't have a common seam. And for this to open up, I mean, my God, you know. The other trick I did was putting little tie backs to keep, when I had a seam, just pulled together. They don't have the clips per se like the other ones do, like they have the metal. So I kind of did that. The webbing I really like. I like the fact the plastic is right here. I had one. It took a chunk out when I put a screw in, and I forgot it was there. The Nudura is 8 foot. I'm not sure about lining up these holes. The only drawback with this, when you cut it, you can only cut the second one. Because if you cut the first one, these won't line up. And don't ask me how I found out, but it has to be every second one. I love these lines here. You know, now when you get that level and you're coming around, it's pretty good. We got a little messy here because of the boards, and I did it on purpose. I should have been a little more careful. That's on me, you know. I got this out a bit. I have to take a little bit of cleaner just to clean that up. The Nudura, like I said, I took the course. I would say, you know, they should do it in the parking lot somewhere and put these together and then, you know, pour it with concrete. That would be a lot more familiar with it. I didn't really care for the course because it was more like a corporate pat on the back. Okay, we did all these wonderful buildings, everything else. These guys have been around. Styro's been around for 20 years. There's also Fox blocks. I haven't used it, but I like the fact that they slide down. You know, you don't have, like when you have the seam there, it slides down. That I like. The only thing, last thing I don't like about these is you got to watch knocking these styrofoam things out. You bend them, and then you don't realize it, and you're putting it together and trying to hurry. That was the big thing. The other thing is Nudura has a installation certificate. It doesn't hurt to have it, but I can only spend so much time chasing it. This isn't that hard to do. So is it good if the inspector comes here? And I mean, I'm way beyond any code. Like the code, I'm almost in hurricane territory for what I did, even in the framing for the old section. It helps, but what I don't like about it is just trying to make it dimensional there. Look at all the other products, go on your journey. I think each area is going to be a little different. How each company's invested. Make sure you can get support. That you call, you can get questions, or if you have to order it, it's not a big mystery. And you make mistakes, and you're trying to. If you get too much of this stuff and try and send it back, and you bang up the ends, they're not going to take it back. So you can get stuck with this, and it's a one-time job. The other thing, what I really love. Come on. Look at this. Now I'm going into the old section. And this is the shared wall. Like we got it jacked up. What the shared wall mean? He owns half, I own the other half. And I can go here now. I'm going to put my footings here. I don't have to go 4 feet deep because this isn't on the outside. And I can continue the wall here. And I can continue the same wall down here on the front of the building. We got to clean up a little bit and then get rid of the jacks. We got to get the plumbing in there first, and we got to replace those bottom beams. It's getting moisture in there mainly because the window's open, but they're in good shape there. And I would like to build on that with plywood and laminate it. But the thing is, with an old building, what's insane? Look at these beams. I mean, the structure is like insane. Like what they did back then. Everything is, everything's been inspected. Like I mean, they got kind of animalish. They weren't very surgical taking this off. Have a little talk with him. But the rest is mint. The fire really only touched the board, so he got a really good deal on the house. And you can see here, I mean, look at this. Like I got this wall here now. I got it on concrete. I can put a steel pane there. You know, I could take that. Now I got all that strength, double this up, and go right to the top and put all that weight down there. So over the moon on this stuff. If you're not using it or not doing your extension, use it. The only other advice I give, last one, don't go beyond 10 feet. Fill up at least your first floor first. Even if you pour within that week, you're not gonna have it broken. I wouldn't try all the way up, even with the metal bracings and everything. If you're getting with the pumper truck down and you're getting all that concrete coming down, you're talking, you know, a mass coming down like it's like having a fire hose almost the same pressure. You are asking a lot because like I could move those walls, so be careful with that. Other than that, I'm ecstatic with the framing. We're gonna show our techniques because it's basically cabinet maker does framing, and I'm gonna just show one last thing. Take the camera down here. Now, the biggest thing I see when I go and install cabinets, go sideways and like if you go here on the angle and sideways on the show the wall how straight it is. Now, this is the biggest thing that you can get with it because we put a bracing on the other side. We got this wall at almost, I would say, 90%. What I mean by that is a lot of time with the framing, and even when you put the blocking in between, it twists. And then that's what's fantastic with this. Even if I'm a little off this way, if I'm all the way across, I couldn't care less putting cabinets, molding, or anything on there. What I don't like is when you go along and you have the mystery boom, bump, or out. And that's the nightmare when you start installing cabinets, because sometimes you don't catch it, and then your cabinet has a twist in it, and your doors don't close. And I've done that so many times. I've gone along on A-frame houses, brand new ones, and it was just like, oh my God, you know, you couldn't close windows properly. And I can't say anything to the customers because they didn't have it inspected along the way, but I see that a lot. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This isn't square here, and you know, because we're following the plans, but I am not going to have any issues whatsoever putting in my cabinets. So does that make a big difference? Should framers spend a few extra days and be careful with that? Well, it's not really their fault. It's this wood. This wood's not straight, and a lot of times they're not cutting very precise. Like even here, I had a gap here. All right. And they tried to pull it down, and I couldn't get it. Even with the clamp, it let go. All right, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna get a piece that's gonna go there after. That's why I left 1.5 inches. But those are the things. If you're DIYer or like myself, watch it. You know, just thinking framing's easy, popping it together and putting it as fast as you can. It'll cause major problems down the house later on. All right. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you.